What did we stop last time?
رخص.
درجات الأخذ بالرخصة. The degrees of taking rukhsa. Sometimes it's better to take the rukhsa, sometimes it's better not to take the rukhsa, and that's what we say, the way we understand rukhsa. So we start there?
Yes.
Bismillah. Now what he says, this is the title. He says, هل يمنع الأخذ بالرخص? Is it forbidden to take the rukhsa? Is it considered to be bad or haram to take rukhsa? Okay? He says it is sahih, it has been proven from the Prophet. So he says, صح عن النبي, it has been proven with the authentic chain of narrators. But the Prophet said, إن الله يحب أن تؤتى رخصه كما يكره أن تؤتى معصيته. That Allah loves that His rukhsa is taken the way He hates that His something that He has forbidden is done. Now this hadith is weak. The meaning of it is sahih. Now hadith can be weak, but the meaning of it is sahih. Alright. Isn't it? Someone will say, the Prophet said, obey Allah without exception, obey me without exception, but obey people only if what we say it doesn't consult with Quran and Sunnah. No, this is something that I have just made up. Yeah? Someone says this, the Prophet has said this, this hadith is weak, it's a lie, it doesn't exist. That doesn't mean the meaning of it is right, isn't it? So this hadith here, the meaning of it is sahih, that Allah likes that His rukhsa is taken. We mentioned earlier, before, the hadith where Amr ibn Hamd al-Aslami, the hadith in Muslim, that the Prophet said it is a rukhsa from Allah, so whoever takes it is better. And if he doesn't, there is no harm. So Allah likes that His rukhsa is taken. And the way He hates, the comparison here maybe will be a problem. The way He likes it as much as He hates the comparison, for example, like looks like they are equal. The loving of the doing of the rukhsa is equal. That should be probably the problem here. That Allah loves that people do the rukhsa, clear from the hadith, and He hates as well that people disobey Him, isn't it?
So are they equal?
No, that is the problem. Other than that, the hadith is fine. No? The meaning of the hadith is fine, the hadith itself is weak. This hadith is narrated by Ahmad and Ibn Hibban, and all the chain of narrators are weak. Okay? So that is what he says. He says, whatever Allah likes is not, nobody should say, this is makruh or mamnuh. Because you find sometimes that in the fuqaha will refer to something which is rukhsa and they say it should not be taken. So he is talking about these people who say like rukhsa should not be taken. Yeah? So he's just trying to make a point here that later you will find why he says this.
What are you trying to prove?
Well, I was going to talk about that with this, but at the end we are going to understand what he means to say by this. He says, and in this hadith, and this hadith which he meant, what he mentioned, this hadith which is weak, he says it looks like it is disliked that you don't take the rukhsa. Not to take it like thinking out of despise. That someone will look at the rukhsa and say, this is not something I need to do. It's not like I'm not going to do it. No, this is not something that I can do. I am like above this. This is definitely will be haram. To look at the rukhsa and then think that, oh, me, I will never Huh? Yeah. First, you know that the rukhsa is this is rukhsa from Allah, permission.
Yeah.
And then you say, me, I will never break my fast if I am traveling, no matter what. It's not like I'm not going to do it. No, I will never do it. Not something that I can do. I'm above that. You understand? So that is definitely in the religion is haram. He said because you should not think or look at something that Allah likes and despise it. And he said, what is despise? Can anyone explain to this guy who doesn't understand English?
Like hate, don't like, dislike.
Yeah, like you
You just
يعني تتنزه عنها تتنزه عنها تعرفها تنزها. He said ويؤكده, and that is emphasized by the hadith of Aisha. Now the hadith of Aisha is in Bukhari, that she said the Prophet have done something فترخص فيه, so he has taken the rukhsa. Now some people might understand that this is rukhsa, this rukhsa that we are talking about. And this is what we say the problem is, that when people think that rukhsa from the Sahaba is the same rukhsa as that we speak when we speak about Usul Al-Fiqh. Rukhsa here doesn't mean that the Prophet has taken the easiest option, not the hardest one. So that's what Aisha meant. So the hadith says that the Prophet has done something and he took the rukhsa. So some people of his companion heard about it, he disliked it, and they kept away from it. Like they didn't feel that it will be right for them to do it, while the Prophet has done it. So he heard about that. So he stood up and he made this speech. He said, what's wrong with people? They hear that I have done something and I have taken tarakhasta fihi. I took the easiest option. Then they dislike it and they think that they are above it. He says, by Allah, I am the most knowledgeable of Allah and the most faithful to Him. Now this hadith here, some people might use it to say that if the Prophet say don't do something, and then we find a hadith that says the Prophet has done something, that we should follow what he has done. Isn't it?
Yeah, this is like dislike.
Rukhsa.
Yeah.
Look, it's rukhsa first, first rukhsa. First rukhsa will come after the forbidding.
Yeah.
That's how do you understand it? The other thing is, they will say, look, this is a rukhsa, and the Prophet disliked that didn't follow what he has done. You understand? And that is a big mistake. First, this hadith here, when we say the people, what exactly the Prophet has done, and how the people disliked what he has done. It is possible. There is three scenarios here. It's not possible to think of a fourth scenario except these three. If you can't think of any other than these three, then let me know. One, that the Prophet has done something that he has never spoken about. Because when we say the action of the Prophet is not religious by itself. So, now, and so this hadith will be used against you. You say, okay, what the Prophet has done is possible that he has done something that he has never spoken about. And then someone will stand up and say, oh, this is not right. So the Prophet has never said this is haram or makruh. So who is this person to make a decision that this thing is bad and the Prophet is doing it? Understand? Now the Prophet has done it or has not done it. It's not what made the man wrong. It's not because the Prophet has done it. It's because this is something that the Prophet has never spoken about it, Yet he still come and make a decision that he is above of doing something. Okay, don't do it. Someone will say, like, I am not going to get married. Not that marriage is something that I'm not going to do it or something. No. It's like, it's not something that should be done by a pious person. You understand? Let's say the Prophet have never spoken about it. And then he comes and makes his decision that this is bad thing. Who are you to make this bad? To make a decision that something is bad without the Prophet before that saying it's bad. So definitely these people will be deserving of criticizing. So the Prophet have spoken about this matter and he praised it, or he recommended it. That, and the people are thinking that it is not something that should be done. These people are definitely are worthy of, deserving of criticize. So the Prophet have forbid it. The Prophet forbid it, said don't do it, and then afterwards he has done it. Can we say that the Prophet, when he was talking about here with these people, that this is what happened? That he told people don't do something. I mean, there is three possible scenarios. And what these people, is a specific situation. Something happened. It's not like he used to do it all the time. So it's possible that this happened. So why did you come to the conclusion that he is talking about something that has forbidden already? And let's say, okay, someone will say, okay, the word rukhsa. First, the rukhsa is not always something that comes after something that has been forbidden. Second is, let's go to see the clear statements of the Prophet, how he deals with the people whom he tells not to do something, and afterwards, but he does it afterwards, and then they follow his action rather than following his statement. How he deal with these people? He gets upset. We have the hadith in Mecca when the Prophet went to Hudaybiyah, and what happened there? There was this agreement that he reached with the kuffar. When he reached this agreement, the Sahaba were not happy about it, because they were powerful. They could have taken them easily. Yet he chose to reach an agreement and come back. It was like an humiliation. Oh, we are going to do Hajj Umrah, and these kuffar, they will stop us from doing Umrah, and we have the power to fight them. But yet the Prophet has decided to make an agreement rather than fight in Mecca, in the sacred place. So when they disliked this, but he could do nothing. He had an order from Allah to come back. So what he did, he made this agreement. Now, they were wearing their clothes of Hajj, of Umrah, Ihram. What did he tell them? He told them to take it off. Taking off now is like they will lose every hope. Now, if they take it off, then forget about Umrah. As long as they are wearing it, maybe he will change his mind, maybe something happens. They take it off, finish. So he told them not to take it, to take it off. Nobody moved. They all stood up, looking at him. He got angry. He went, entered his place, and there was his wife. So he told her, did you see what happened? I ordered people something and nobody moved. Nobody obeyed my order. What did she say? She said, why don't you go out and start by removing yours? You start yourself. What we understand from this? While he was telling them to remove the ihram, he was actually still wearing the ihram. So he is forbidding them from doing something, and he has not done it. Still, he was not happy that people followed what he was doing, rather following what he was saying. So it's not right to follow his action. It is right to follow his orders. But we have the same situation happened when the Hajj, when he went to Hajj in the last year. What happened there? he took with him camels as a sacrifice. So, because he was taking camels, he had to do Hajj and Umrah together. That means he will do Umrah and not take off his ihram and continue all the way until he finished Hajj. The Sahaba did not take sacrifice, so they have the choice. What they can do is to take their ihram, do the Umrah, stop it, and do everything to become normal. And then the day of Hajj, they will start again Hajj. So they separate it, so they will have like in between a gap where they can shave if they want, they can be with their wives if they want, so they are not in state of haram. So he ordered them to do that. He said, I wish that I have not brought this sacrifice with me. But they wanted to follow him. And he insisted that they take their ihram off. They insisted on following him. So he went also to the house, to his place, to his tent, where for Aisha. He said, don't you see? I have ordered people something and they are hesitating. No, they didn't disobey, they were hesitating. They didn't know what to do. They stopped thinking. He said, don't you see? I ordered people something and they are hesitating. So hesitation in following the order is haram. So this here, that hadith can't be used at all to say that, oh, this is a proof that we have to follow the action of the Prophet. Yeah, the Prophet, you can follow his action as long as they are from the religion. I mean, and he doesn't speak about following the action of Sharia, about someone who believes that he is above something that the Prophet has done. That is, of course, when the Prophet doesn't contradict what he says. Because when he contradicted, that there is a reason here. You have to see, to look first. Was the contradiction before he said what he said? Sometimes the Prophet will do something and then he will do something and later he will say don't do it. There is no problem with this because the religion comes gradually, isn't it? Also, sometimes the Prophet will say something, but afterwards he will do something. After he say don't do something, don't, for example, don't drink while standing. But he will later drink while standing, and then that will be special for him because he has things that are special for him. The Quran clearly tells us, فَإِنَّمَا عَلَيْهِ مَا حُمِّلَ وَعَلَيْكُمْ مَا حُمِّلْتُمْ. Obey Allah and obey the Prophet, obeying orders. If you return or you go on your hill back, if you don't accept this, then فَإِنَّمَا عَلَيْهِ مَا حُمِّلَ وَعَلَيْكُمْ مَا حُمِّلْتُمْ. Then he has his own responsibilities and you are your own responsibilities. Also, the Prophet says, I am a human being like you. I forget the way you forget. If I forget, remind me. So, if you say don't do something and you see him doing something else, doing that thing, if you say don't do something but you see him doing it afterwards, then you don't say this is a rukhsa, he forbade it and did it. No, you say, actually first you have to check, did he forget? He might have forgotten. And he said, I am a human being like you, I forget the way you forget. Now what he says is revelation. What he does, he is human, he forgets. So people should actually remind him rather than follow him.
So in the hadith you just mentioned, some people will use it to say that the Prophet forgot or made mistakes, so he's not reliable.
So people say that
he's not reliable. Like they say he's not reliable because he makes mistakes.
Well, who said that hadith? He never said that I forget hadith. He said I forget the way he forgets.
When they say sometimes he forgot an ayah when he was reciting.
Yes, so he forgets even Quran. That's what I'm saying. He forgets an ayah. So are we going to say the Quran is not reliable?
It's just the Prophet is human, he can forget like we can forget.
Yes. He has to Allah said that he revealed the Quran and he will protect it. So the Quran will be protected regardless of the Prophet forgetting or not forgetting. The Quran will not be protected and the Sunnah is protected. That is what goes for the Quran, goes for the Sunnah. Are you referring now? Because when you discuss, you have to look who you are discussing with. Are you referring to the guys who say there is the Quran only?
One of the students gave me this point.
Yeah, okay. If you forget the way you forget, he said, so he has, the hadith says he has forgotten the Quran as well.
They said, yeah, you can't take anything because maybe he made many mistakes. How do you know that he forgot that time and he mistakenly said something instead of something?
No, that is, how do you know that Allah, he will not make mistake and recite Quran mistakenly?
Because they say that in the Quran it says that Allah will protect the Quran.
And Allah says that he will protect the dhikr. The dhikr. That is the Quran and Sunnah. The dhikr is anything that is revealed by Allah.
Yeah, but I remember that point, but then when I forgot how you prove it.
Yeah, the way I prove it, now Allah says the dhikr. Okay? إِنَّا نَحْنُ نَزَّلْنَا الذِّكْرَ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. We have sent down the dhikr. Why did you say that the Quran is dhikr, but what the Prophet, the orders of the Prophet are not dhikr? When Allah says generally, وَمَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ, he doesn't speak from himself. It's just revelation. So how did you come to the dhikr being Quran? That is what the Mufassirin say. But this guy has rejected everything. So is he going to rely on the Mufassirin? I mean, this is someone who rejects everybody except the Quran. Why does he rely on the Mufassirin? So it will be like you and him, telling him this is dhikr, Allah says dhikr. So the dhikr is Quran and Sunnah. He will say, no, it's Quran only. How did you come to this conclusion? If you say,
He said, and Azeema came from the sky of the Quran.
yeah, why? The Prophet, why did we see Quran descending? It was the Prophet who recited it, isn't it?
Yeah.
How did the Sahaba hear the Quran? From where? From the mouth of the Prophet. And from him he heard the Sunnah.
He says from other verses, Allah repeatedly says that this Quran has been sent. Unzila.
Yeah.
And he says this is only Quran unzila. How can the hadith be unzila? How can the hadith be just the word of the Prophet?
Who said that? Allah said that أنزلنا الذكر.
They would like to weigh up the Prophet and the Quran.
Yeah, when the Prophet says that Allah has sent down the dhikr. Yeah. So why did he come? Why is it because if Allah says something one time in the Quran, it's not true until he says it twice or three times? Does Allah need to repeat something? Allah says in the Quran that the people of hellfire, the people of Jannah, Allah repeatedly says that those who go for paradise will be there eternally. However, when he speaks about this, he says it one time that they will be in hellfire eternally. So what are we going to say? It's one is more than this, so this you don't take it?
It doesn't matter how many times
I mean,
you repeat it.
when you say something, when Allah says something one time, we don't accept it. It's maybe a mistake. Maybe he didn't know what he was saying, and we have to hear it twice. So when Allah says the dhikr, and in another place he says Quran. So why dhikr is not Quran? When Allah says in the Quran clearly that about Nuh telling his people, أَوَعَجِبْتُمْ أَنْ جَاءَكُمْ ذِكْرٌ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ. So Nuh, when he says to his people, are you wondering that dhikr came to you from your Lord? What is the dhikr here? Is it Quran?
Is dhikr
Quran and the way of the Prophet.
Yeah, dhikr and dhikr, alif lam is nothing, it's just ta'rif. So when Nuh says to his people, are you wondering that Allah has sent dhikr to you? Now Nuh, what he was referring to, is this Quran? Another book. Okay, when Hud says to his people the same thing, it's another book. When Allah says, وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا مُوسَى الْفُرْقَانَ وَضِيَاءً وَذِكْرًا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, that we have given Musa al-Furqan and Diya and Dhikr. So this dhikr that has been given to Musa, which dhikr is it?
They can tell you the Tawrat.
Yeah, Tawrat. So Tawrat is dhikr. Why then the Sunnah of the Prophet is not dhikr? Isn't it? Is the Torah not written the way the Sunnah is written?
The Torah is written by Muslims.
The Torah is written by Israel.
Is that the Torah that Allah is referring to?
Of course, the Torah does it. There is a lot of lies in it. It has been corrupted, but there is still truth in it. There is some truth and there is some lies in it. But who wrote it? People wrote it. Musa did. Musa went.
The Torah says today, for example, when Quran says we gave Isa the Injil.
Yes.
So I mean, it's not the Bible. We have to. It's a special book that came to Isa.
But that is the Injil that we have today. That is the Injil. Allah says in the Quran, وَلْيَحْكُمْ أَهْلُ الْإِنْجِيلِ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فِيهِ. The people of Injil should judge according what has been revealed in it.
So it's the same Injil.
Yes.
It's just more.
Of course. What kind? There is corruption in it. Allah is not ordering them to judge according to the corruption that is in it. The way Allah ordered us to judge with the Sunnah of the Prophet. So we judge with the Sunnah, that you are going to check and find which Sunnah is authentic, which one is not. And Allah ordered the people of the book. He ordered in the Quran people of the book to judge according to the Injil. وَلْيَحْكُمْ. This is for the future. It's not for the past. وَلْيَحْكُمْ أَهْلُ الْإِنْجِيلِ. The people of Injil should judge according to what has been revealed in it. So this is an order to them. Now if someone says, how can Allah order the people of Injil to judge according to what is in it? Ordering them to stay Christian or something? No. If they go to the Injil, they will find there in the Injil that a verse that says that a prophet is coming after me, follow him. That means leave that. The Injil will tell them, leave me alone and go and follow this man. But they will be following the Injil. And that book requires them to follow the prophet that comes after. And that book as well is dhikr. The Injil is dhikr. What has been revealed to anything that comes from Allah is dhikr. So why did you come to the conclusion that what the Prophet said is not dhikr?
Yeah, and I used you said وَمَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ.
Yeah.
They said no, it was just
How did you say that? Yeah.
I said that, but
You can make a claim. You can make a claim, but you have to prove them. And yes, the Prophet sometimes might talk, but everything that he says is wahi until proven otherwise. When Allah makes a general statement, that general statement you have to take it general until proven otherwise. Isn't it?
Are you trying to remember why they say it?
no, the basically started with how can you take the Quran how can you say this is revelation from Allah when the Prophet said that, the flag, the wings, he said if you put one and the other one is secure,
Yeah.
he said how can this be revelation? He said this is the work of man, it's not revelation. They said this is, he said I'm a doctor and I know this is not true.
Yeah.
No, it is.
Say, you are a doctor, I don't trust you. That's what you are a liar to me. You disbelieve you disbelieve what the Prophet said. I believe that you are a liar and you have an agenda. This is how you say something, I say something different.
And I asked him who can explain the Quran. Like the Prophet explained sometimes the Quran.
Yeah.
He said anyone can open the Quran honestly and he
Tell me, can he speak Arabic?
broken Arabic.
Broken Arabic. So he is making these big decisions based on a translation. Which translation does he take? Is it translation of the Salafis or the Wahhabis or the Brilwis or which translation? I mean, so someone who speaks like this, he should be have shame if he doesn't speak Arabic. And which narration he takes of the Quran? Is it Hafs or Warsh or Qalun? Which one? Does he even know?
The book I had, it was Islamic.
Yeah, he gave every person a different translation so they can each read their verse. So he can show us the only mistake in the sentence.
About the Quran.
Yeah.
So he is now attacking the Quran itself.
No, he said some translation. He said some, like he tells you the Quran printed in Saudi they add Wahhabi ideas.
Okay.
He's usually showing you differences.
Okay. If he doesn't know Arabic, how did he come to the conclusion that the Wahhabis have other things?
Anyway, like my thing is like, because we have to like open the eyes of the students and not let them follow again this guy because.
No, it's not a question about following. That's what we will do, inshallah. As soon as they find an occasion, I will be coming there and talking to him in front of people. However, when you say this, I follow. I mean, someone making such big statements, who probably have not memorized Quran, I believe, and he has never studied Arabic. I mean, even Arabic. Now, how is he going to understand Arabic actually? How is he going to understand the Quran? There is no Arab today. Arabs don't exist today. So how is he going to understand Arabic? Who is he going to rely on? Oh, I am going to go to the books of Arabic language? To trustworthy people Arab? Oh, there is no trustworthy people. We don't take Isnad. People are corrupt. And Isnad, we can't take it. The chain of narrations doesn't mean anything. We take the Tawatur. Tawatur, go to Egypt and speak to them. Totally different. If you understand Arabic according to the Egyptian language or the Algerian language or the Moroccan language or the Saudi language, everyone will say a word and understand it in a different way. There is no Arabs anymore. The Arabic language is in the books. Trustworthy, just like Bukhari. If Bukhari is corrupted, these books of Arabic language are corrupted. This person doesn't know what he's talking about. And then I would like to know as well which narration of Quran he's going to follow.
Maybe there's another.
You know, the final thing I told him was that أطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول, and he said here Allah specifically mentioned Rasul to specify that you should أطيع the Risala of the Rasul, which is the Quran.
Yeah.
He said أطيعوا الرسول with the Risala, which is the Quran. He said don't أطيع another thing, only أطيع من. When أطيع الرسول means obey the message.
Yes, obey the Prophet.
No.
He said only Quran. The
Yeah,
message of
the Prophet. Who says the message? Who says the message is in the form of Quran? Message can come in the form of Quran and in Sunnah. Why did you?
He's talking about his own mind.
Well, if someone comes and starts talking just like this, making explaining the Quran just like this without proof, and with weak explanations, when we try to explain to him that dhikr and kitab is actually Quran and Sunnah, everything that comes from the Prophet, and then he say no, what can you do to this person? You understand? He says that okay, you can make any claim. What about someone comes now and say no, Quran, and you just have to obey the Prophet? You just have to obey the Prophet. The Quran, we are not sure that the Quran existed at all, because it was actually written by 3 men, according to the narration. And how are you going to be sure? These people that you are talking about, the correct people, these people who have the Quran, yeah, the bad people in Saudi and in the Wahhabis and the Pakistanis, and can you trust them? Maybe they made up this book. If someone made it up and then divide it between them. So yeah, let's start from.
Yes.
And what does he say again? How does he pray?
He said we don't need to. He said sometimes we can take it from biography. He said his biography was written much sooner than there's only 30 years.
What's biography?
Biography, seerah.
Well, he is sick in the head. Because which seerah does he take it from?
I asked him in his house. He said maybe I don't know. But I told him because I told him
he doesn't know. He speaks.
Not his student told me. He told me the teacher. Because remember the point he said, how can you know how the Quran is compiled by hadith? He said actually you don't need hadith. The seerah of someone, the biography was written sooner, and it can tell you all these things.
So it's a question of sooner and later?
He told like.
He's saying 3 generations, like the grandfather will be Sahabi. He said no, the hadith.
When the Quran was revealed, like the hadith was revealed 250 years after.
That is a lie. Malik died in 179. 179 of Hijrah. That is 169 years after the Prophet. He died then.
Anyway.
So when he died, before that, 50 years before that, he wrote his book. Yeah? So that is 150 years. Muhammad bin Ishaq, the highest seerah that we have, the oldest seerah that we have, is in the same time, was written exactly in the same time as Muwatta. However, the difference between it and the Muwatta is written with the chain of narration, and seerah of bin Ishaq is like, he take it from the children of the Jews, he take it from untrustworthy people, from the Jewish people. That is the difference between this and this. So Muhammad bin Ishaq, he himself is not trustworthy, and he took his book, we don't know where from. So you are telling me, and Malik is trustworthy, and he took his book from the Malik. Between him and the Prophet there is two men. He is the Sahabi and Ibn Umar. Ibn Umar and Nafi', one of the most trustworthy people in Hadith. Someone who is known, who memorized properly. So you are rejecting the Muwatta of Malik and taking the Seerah of Ibn Ishaq. What kind of sick person is this?
They say like, yeah, but before anyway, like, I don't know.
I don't think that this person even, like, look, this person, it looks like he relies on English books because he can't speak Arabic. But the conclusions they come off. So he can't speak Arabic. He makes these big decisions when he relies on translations of Quran. And if I ask him, how did you come to the conclusion? Because there is Quran. If you read the Quran that is written by the Brainwaves, and the Quran that is written, the translation, I mean, if you don't go to the Arabic language, if you go to the translation, the Quran of the Brainwaves in English and the Quran of the Salafis in English are totally different, two different books. Why? Because translation is like someone will translate according to his understanding. Yeah. So the translation, we don't rely on the translation. That's why it's required every time someone wants to make a decision. This is someone who wants to just like for his own general understanding, reading the English when he can't speak Arabic. That is something just to have a general idea about. But to recite Quran in English, no way. And this is a man who makes big decisions. One of the biggest decisions.
Actually, he said, because it doesn't mention the Quran, he said he marries Muslim women to non-Muslim. He said because it's not in the Quran. He says the Quran is not mentioned, so he married about 36 of the read an article yesterday.
He can, a non-Muslim woman can marry.
No, a Muslim woman marrying
a Christian.
A Christian or something like that.
So for him it's fine.
He said yeah, because it's not in the Quran.
Okay. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't say in the Quran, وَلَا تُنْكِحُوا الْمُشْرِكِينَ حَتَّى يُؤْمِنُوا. You know, yeah, in Surah Al-Baqarah. وَلَا تُنْكِحُوا الْمُشْرِكِينَ حَتَّى يُؤْمِنُوا. Don't let the mushrikeen marry like your woman until they become believer.
But he will tell you the Ahl Kitab.
No, he said mushrikina. وَلَا تُنْكِحُوا الْمُشْرِكِينَ general. And then when he made the exception, he said وَالْمُحْصَنَاتُ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنَاتِ muhsanat of the woman believer. And the muhsanat of the Christian and Jewish woman. He did not mention when he forbid the marrying of mushrikat, man and woman. When he gave the exception, is only for women, Christian woman and Christian Jewish to be married. So he did not give permission for exception for a Christian man or Christian Jewish to marry a woman. That is not in the Quran. So how did he come to that conclusion? Yeah, it looks like someone who read an ayah and then he...
But the basic thing, what I understand about why he rejects Hadith, it says before the Hadith was written and there was only Quran, people were also good Muslims. They didn't need Hadith to be.
Where did he get this information from?
Before Hadith was written, people knew how to pray because they look at their mother and father. You don't need Hadith to know how to pray.
Okay, so the people were good Muslims. They were doing what? They were following their fathers. Their fathers, where did they learn from? From the Prophet. That is not in the Quran how to pray. He says Quran is enough. Quran doesn't say how to pray. Even if you tell me, oh, I am following people.
That's what he said, like, don't need to leave because you can look at the people.
Okay.
Don't need to leave
Okay.
because it's corrupt.
You follow people. So you are telling me the Quran is enough. This is how you started.
Yeah, he's contradicting.
Now, but you are telling me I have to follow people.
Yeah, he's contradicting himself. Yeah, I know. So it doesn't make any sense.
Let's go back here. Inshallah, we will find time for him. He said, أما ما يروى عن بعض السلف. He said, as for the salaf, what has been narrated from the salaf and the ulama, that it is forbidden, that it is makruh to follow the rukhas, and criticizing the one who does that. He said, they are not talking about the rukhas that comes from Allah and His Prophet, and the rukhas of the Sharia. He said, this is the rukhas that people take it from the different opinions from the fuqaha. He said, some alim may forbid this and give rukhsa in this. So the ulama have criticized the one who follow this rukhas and use it and give it to people. He said, because by that people will make halal what Allah has forbidden and His Prophet. He said, because someone who is mujtahid, a scholar, might say something with his opinion and then reject it later when he finds that it contradicts the Quran and Sunnah. So it's wrong to go and collect the mistakes of people and make them as rukhsa for. We have today, for example, the Egyptians. We have the Egyptians, and this man almost became one of them. This man who wrote this book, even though he's criticizing here, his name is Judea. He leans towards that, towards that madhab. The madhab of what we call Qardawi, for example. You heard about Qardawi? Qardawi, the Egyptian.
Yeah. I heard another one called, it starts with M.
I don't know. The Qardawi, for example, of Egypt, you heard about him?
Yeah, this Abdullah Judea.
Judea, this is Abdullah Judea. Abdullah Judea is friend with Qardawi, and he is not as Qardawi, but like almost going that way. Now Qardawi, what he does, if you go to Qardawi and ask him, not Qardawi, many shuyukh of Egypt, you tell him, is it fine to do mortgage? He will not going to tell you, Quran has said haram, riba or something. No. He will say, yes, some ulama already gave permission. No. You understand? Is it fine to listen to music? He's not going to say it's halal or haram based on Quran and Sunnah. The ulama say it's fine. So for him, as long as someone has done something, he just collects the mistakes of people and make it easy for people. You understand? It's not anymore Quran and Sunnah. You find this, for example, this Egyptian on TV, they just want a big audience. So as long as someone has made a mistake and said something, they will take it. So this is sometimes the Salaf, the people before, they will say that someone who follows the rukhas is zindiq, like he is a hypocrite, or they criticize him. And that they mean by this. And he give you an example. He say Ismail ibn Ishaq al-Qadi, someone famous, he was a judge, Maliki. He said he went to the Khalifa, Mu'taziz Billah. Mu'taziz Billah was Khalifa. So he went to see him. So he gave him a book. Mu'taziz Billah told him, look at this book. So he looked at the book. He said, I looked at it, and that book collected every mistake that someone has done. So that book will say, for example, it is fine as long as people have not agreed anything that where there is no ijmah. So it works like the religion will become what is ijmah. As long, doing wudu from eating someone touching himself, from someone who has eaten the meat of the camel. Then during the hadith, we go with the one who said, don't do wudu. You understand? For example, there are some places where people say, you don't have to do wudu, you have to go tayammum. Even though there is no proof for that, we take it. Huh? Someone says some type of transaction is halal because he doesn't know, selling gold for gold or something because he doesn't know it's halal, because someone said it's halal, even though the hadith is clearly, so like you just follow mistakes of people. Someone says alcohol is halal, and there are some Muslims who say alcohol is halal. Alhamdulillah. So alcohol is halal. You understand? We have many Egyptians who do this because their main the main aim is not to explain to people what is halal and haram, is to get attract as many audience as big. So what they will do, everybody who falls before even they listen to the question, it's halal. You understand? We have them in Baker Street. In Baker Street, Masjid Tawheed. Now we go to Baker Street, they are not Zahirin. And they are against the Zahiris. Because the Zahiris follow Quran and Sunnah only, so they would sometimes consider some things that the majority consider haram, they would consider them halal. With the proof. They will say there is no proof that this is haram, so I will take it to be halal. So they have the right to say that. They say there is no proof it's haram, it is halal. But Baker Street are not Zahiris. What they will do, they will go to Shafi'i, take every mistake. You understand? Even the right things that are in the Zahiri madhab, they are no right to take it. Because you have to make your decision. It is right to do ijma' or not? Is it right to do qiyas or not? Is it right to follow the Sahaba or not? Once you have come to the conclusion that qiyas is an obligation to do qiyas, then you have to follow the qiyas. When you have to the conclusion that you will be wrong, but not following it, you will be playing by the religion. Someone who came to the conclusion that ijma' following the four madahib is from the religion. So how do you come now and go against the four madahib? According to you, you have proven with your weak hadith or explanation, you have said that we can't go out of this four madahib. But when it is not your desire, it doesn't follow your desire, then you go against it. That is following what? I mean, that is following your desire. The truth is, you have to follow something. Quran or Sunnah and Sunnah. You obey Allah. But no, I obey Allah here. I disobey Him here. I follow Ibn Mas'ud. No, I don't follow Ibn Mas'ud. I follow Ibn Abbas. No, I don't follow Ibn Abbas. I follow Ibn Hazm. No, I don't follow Ibn Hazm. So when someone is like this, the truth is, what is he following? His desire. Out of all of this, we can't make a conclusion that this person, his desire, tell him what to follow, what not to follow. So,
like in the chain of narration, if the hadith is with the desire,
yes, if the
narrator is also
trustworthy or is not, yeah. Now, Khair, inshallah. He said, this man, when the Khalifa gave him the book, he looked at it. And then when he looked at it, he said, the writer of this book, Ismail ibn Ishaq al-Qadi said to the Khalifa, he said, the writer of this book is a hypocrite. He said, why? What he wrote in it, is it a lie? He said, no, it's not a lie. What he wrote in it is true. But the person who did this, he said, whoever has done this is like, he is trying to not follow the Sharia. What he is trying to do is to follow the mistakes of other people. Now the people of Medina, for example, when people speak about mistakes, they say the mistake of people of Mecca, that they sell gold for gold. You understand? The people of Mecca, for example, because Ibn Abbas was the main person in that, Mufti, and he believed that selling gold for gold, he doesn't know about the hadith. So he used to say that selling gold for gold is halal. And he says that marriage of mut'a is halal. So according to the people of Mecca, marriage of mut'a and selling gold for gold is halal.
I had some people say that Ibn Abbas was told data about the Muslims.
No, the hadith is da'if. That hadith that says he changed his mind, that hadith is da'if. The hadith that he said it and he insisted on it is sahih, he's in Muslim. But that he changed his mind later is not sahih. Now, of course, people, you see, for the sake of religion, they make these small lies, just, you understand? Yeah, lying is lying. Yeah. So, now, someone will go to the people, okay, we want this to be halal, or we take it from people of Makkah. And then we go to the people of Medina, and then what people don't like from the people of Medina? That they listen to music. Even though music is halal. You understand? But people used to consider it to be haram.
Is music halal?
Yeah, definitely halal. Now, people don't like that people of Medina say it's halal. You understand? So he will go, and if he come and say halal because there is no dalil it's haram, you can't understand it. No, it is halal because people of Medina say it's halal. So we go to every city and take their mistakes. So they want in Medina, or people of Medina say you can have a relation in a certain way with your wife, which some hadith might show it to be haram, which is not as well. Now these mistakes here, the two mistakes that they mentioned from the people of Medina, they are not mistakes. The two mistakes that they mentioned from the people of Mecca, they are mistakes. The mistake of the Kufa, they will say that the people of Kufa drink alcohol. And the people of Kufa drink alcohol. The people of Kufa think that alcohol is only what is made out of dates. They say anything made of anything else, if it's made of grapes or then it is halal, provided you don't drink enough to become intoxicated. Yes.
Regarding the second thing regarding Medina, the hadith da'if.
No, the hadith is da'if, yes. Now they will say that the understanding of the ayah as well is wrong. That is not how you understand.
So you should not take it as general.
No, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but that is definitely, if you are referring to the same thing, the ayah is not because you don't take it general. The ayah doesn't say anything like that, which the people have understood. We'll talk about it later. Now, the people of, for example, of Sham, they say it is fine if the leader is a wrongdoer, you can just go against him and fight him. So this is one thing that people of Sham, people don't take from them, because it's a mistake. If leader is a Muslim, but he is doing wrong, you can advise him, you can try to stop him, but without declare him to be no Khalifa, no leader, without removing him from power. You say he is in power, you can go and hit him if you want, but he is still the leader. You understand? You see him doing something haram, stop him if you want, but he's not going against him. But he must stay in power until he becomes kafir, or he removes himself, or you advise him to remove himself. But to remove him, nobody has that right. But the people of Sham say you can do it. And then someone will go and, okay, this is a mistake of this person, this is exactly what, for example, the Egyptians, take one of them is Qardawi, for example. He is not going to take the mistakes only of the previous people. He do it up to today. Like probably, if he hears someone saying you don't have to take Sunnah, probably he will say, there is someone who said to take Sunnah, so we can just, you understand? He will refer, he was asked about taking the riba, about paying interest and stuff, he referred to whom? He referred to the Mufti, Qardawi, who just was died some times ago, which his Islam is very doubtful, actually. A man who stands and he is very friendly with the Jewish, someone who says about Muslims they are like dogs. Like this, not some people are like dogs. He say Muslims are like. This is someone who claims to be a Muslim. Someone who says the Muslims are so stupid that they should not rule themselves. Someone who makes this kind of statement. Is he Muslim?
Yes. No.
So this is the person who said, you can deal with riba, you can, for example, many things. When France the president of France actually went to see him when he decided to ban the hijab. And he shook his hand and, yeah, it's fine. He's in his country. It's fine. Why? Women should not wear hijab.
When was this?
Huh?
What year was this?
3 years ago?
Oh, so you're talking about our century.
Yes. He come and refer to this man. Huh? When he say that something is halal, he will say, oh yeah, he said just last month, the guy. Tantawi. Yeah. This person Tantawi, the kuffar declared him to be a kafir. In Egypt, there are some people what we call them? Ilmani. What is no? Secularists. Secularists are those who say religion is in the mosque and should not be in the police. Yeah. And in Egypt there are many of them. They are not Muslims. But when they hear the statement of this man, they say, I read an article from a secularist. He said, Wallahi, this person is not a Muslim. So,
it's like, in marriage, Medina, they don't need two witnesses. Abu Hanifa said,
we said, it's just to go and take the mistakes of people and make them as religion. This is the madhab of some people today. Baker Street is one of these people. You go to them, they don't, if you ask about something, they will not look if this is haram or halal. They will not give you the deal or something. They will say, they will make everything halal as long as there is someone who has said it. Like you go to Baker Street, is this something halal? They will just go and check. Is anybody, because halal is easier than haram. You understand? Haram, you can't do it. Halal, you have the choice. You can do it, you can leave it. Obligation is more difficult than halal. Obligation, so for them, you ask them, is this obligation? They are going to look. Or they are going to check. It's not what does Allah say, what the Prophet said. No. Is there ever anyone who says, it's not an obligation? And then they come back to you, no, it's not an obligation. You understand? Yeah. In Egypt actually before it used to be a joke. And I said before it was a joke. But it wasn't. That when you go to ask someone fatwa in Azhar, this is the biggest school in, of course, it's like dead. People there, they know nothing. But you go and study there, you go and ask for fatwa in Azhar, what they tell you? Someone went to ask this fatwa. He said, is it permissible? Contraception? Contraception. Is it permissible, like having a limited number to do something, to have a limited number of children?
Or to practice it?
Yeah. Now, these people, the Mufti, what did he ask? What does the Mufti ask? How do you want it? Do you want it to be haram or do you want it to be halal? And then, he will, if he say, I want to be halal, yeah, this is something that I like to do. He will tell him, okay, the Prophet narrated, Jabir said, that we used to do contraception at the time of the Prophet, and the Quran was being revealed, and the Prophet never forbade us from doing it. If he said, no, I want this to be haram, I consider it to be haram, I want fatwa according to that, he will say, okay, there is hadith in Muslim, that where the Prophet was asked about contraception, and he said that is like killing, but small, minor killing. Muslim, marriage, breastfeeding. So instead of putting this together and say, look, the Sahabi said, we have not been forbidden, we have not been told, we say this is what Sahabi says. He doesn't know. Not every Sahaba knows everything. So in all cases, we have to come to the conclusion it is forbidden. Because this Sahabi is not, he came to the conclusion based on, the Prophet never said about anything about it. Not every Sahabi knows everything or is there every time to know what the Prophet has said. But the person who said, the Prophet said it's forbidden, the person was there and heard about it.
Yes.
So you have to go with him.
So in terms of this Mufti, can it be called a Muslim?
No, you call him a Muslim with It needs to be, okay, he is Muslim, but it's not, I won't be if I discover and later that he is not actually. I can't, sometimes you have to try to find excuses to the last, like understand? Okay, maybe he is so ignorant that he doesn't know that mistakes of the ulama doesn't make religion. You understand? Maybe he thinks that that we have permission from Allah when someone makes mistake to follow him. Maybe he thinks. If he thinks that Allah has given us this permission, so he is still following what Allah says. But I will declare him to be very, very, very ignorant.
Most people there use that verse, if you do not know, ask the people of knowledge.
Yeah, but the thing is, maybe he doesn't know that he should ask the people of knowledge. He said, the obligation in this, that someone looks at the hukum of Allah and His Prophet, rather than going to the mistakes of people, that you should go to the hukum of Allah and Prophet. And then you will look at this rukhsa from mujtahideen. This is a different name. When we say rukhsa here, we don't mean the rukhsa that we are talking about. When you find sometimes people say, whoever follows the rukhas, he becomes a hypocrite. The Salaf used to say this. Many people from the past. Awza'i, for example, he will say, whoever follows the rukhas, he becomes zindiq, a hypocrite. It doesn't mean, what he is trying to explain here, that he is not, doesn't mean that if you follow the rukhas that Allah has given, like if you pray 2 rak'ah while you are traveling, or you don't fast when you are traveling, this is not the rukhsa that we are talking about. The rukhsa that we are talking about is you go and what Qardawi and his people do. So he said what we should do is when you have a rukhsa like this, you just check it against the Quran and Sunnah. If it contradicts Quran and Sunnah, you should reject it. If it doesn't, then you can take it. Yes. So you have to take the saying of the ulama and compare it to the saying of Allah and His Prophet. Contradict, reject it. Doesn't contradict, you can't take it. It's rukhsa then. Now he mentions something that is related to this. Now something that is related to this matter. He said something that is related to the hukm wada'i. When we spoke about hukm wada'i, we said the conditions,
the
causes, the conditions, and the barriers. Yes, that's 3 things. And then we spoke about fasad and butlan and validity, how things can be valid. If they meet all the conditions, there is no mawani', there is all the cause is there, then these things will be valid. If they are not, if something, a condition is missing, or it's not done within the cause, or there is a barrier, then it will be invalid. And then we started talking about the Azeema and Rukhsa. All these are related to what we call hukum wada'i, rather than hukum taklifi.